In Act 3, the magical chaos in the forest reached its peak. Puck, continuing to follow Oberon's orders, mistakenly applied the love potion to Demetrius's eyes, causing both he and Lysander to be hopelessly in love with Helena, leaving Hermia devastated and enraged at her friend. As the confusion escalated, the once close friendships unravelled, with the four lovers turning on one another in a frenzy of jealousy and hurt. Meanwhile, the amateur actors began their rehearsal, only to be interrupted by Puck, who transformed Bottom's head into that of a donkey. Titania, under the influence of the same love potion, awoke, and to Oberon's delight, instantly fell in love with the bewildered Bottom. As the night wore on, the tangled web of enchantment, mistaken identities, and misplaced affections threatened to spiral out of control, setting the stage for even more dramatic twists as the dawn approached. According to Freytag's pyramid, the falling action follows the climactic events of Act 3. In Act 4 of A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare begins to resolve the romantic entanglements and magical chaos of Act 3 to lead the play towards its denouement in Act 5. Act 4 opens in the wood. Enter Titania, Queen of the Fairies, and Bottom, and fairies including Peaseblossom, Cobweb, and Mustard Seed, and the King, Oberon, behind them. Titania, under the spell of the magical flower, is still infatuated with a donkey-headed Bottom. Bottom is having the time of his life, being waited upon hand and foot by Titania's fairies, as he orders them to scratch his head and sends them off to fetch him honey to eat. The humour in this part of the scene not only comes from the dramatic irony of his blissful ignorance of his transformed state. "I must to the barber's, monsieur, for methinks I am marvellous hairy about the face, and I am such a tender ass, i.e. fool. If my hair do but tickle me, I must scratch." But also from the ridiculous sight of Titania fawning all over him. Bottom, exhausted by all the attention, finally falls asleep wrapped in Titania's arms as she gently soothes him. "Sleep thou, and I will wind thee in my arms. Fairies, be gone, and be always away." So doth the woodbine the sweet honeysuckle gently entwist, the female ivy so enrings the barky fingers of the elm. Oh, how I love thee, how I dote on thee. Oberon tells Puck that he has started to feel sorry for Titania, as he has watched her make a fool of herself over Bottom. Her dotage now I do begin to pity, for, meeting her of late behind the wood seeking sweet favours for this hateful fool, I did upbraid her and fall out with her, for she his hairy temples then had rounded with coronet of fresh and fragrant flowers. The trick has served its purpose, as Titania, obsessed with Bottom, has given up the changeling boy without a fight. Now that Oberon no longer has a quarrel with her, he decides to lift the enchantment, and he instructs Puck to return Bottom to his human state. "And now I have the boy, I will undo this hateful imperfection of her eyes, and, gentle Puck, take this transformed scalp from off the head of this Athenian swain, that he awaking when the others do, may all to Athens back again repair, and think no more of this night's accidents, but as the fierce vexation of a dream." Oberon applies a remedy to Titania's eyes, and upon waking she is horrified to find herself in love with an ass. How came these things to pass? Oh, how mine eyes do loathe his visage now. The reconciliation between Oberon and Titania follows, restoring harmony in the fairy realm. "Sound, music! Come, my queen, take hands with me, and rock the ground whereon these sleepers be." After a song, Oberon, Titania, and Puck vanish, leaving Hermia, Helena, Lysander, and Demetrius asleep on the ground. Theseus, Hippolyta, and Aegeus arrive in the forest on a pre-wedding hunting expedition. Theseus and Hippolyta engage in some jovial one-upmanship as they boast of their various experiences of first-class hunting dogs which, in the Elizabethan era, were selected so that their barking was all in harmony. Hippolyta reminisces about a time when she was hunting in Crete with hounds of Sparta, and describes how never did I hear such gallant chiding, for besides the groves, the skies, the fountains, every region near seemed all one mutual cry. I never heard so musical a discord, such sweet thunder. Theseus, not to be outdone, explains that his dogs have been specially bred so that they are matched in mouths like bells, each under each. A cry more tunable was never hallooed to nor cheered with horn in Crete, in Sparta, nor in Thessaly. They discover the four lovers asleep, with Aegeus remarking, "My lord, this is my daughter here asleep, and this Lysander. This Demetrius is, this Helena, old Nidar's Helena. I wonder if they're being here together." Theseus reminds Aegeus that today is the day for Hermia to make her decision, and he asks his huntsman to wake the four by sounding their horns. Theseus is shocked that the men seem to have trusted each other enough to have been asleep and therefore vulnerable so close together. "I know you two are rival enemies. How come this gentle concord in the world? That hatred is so far from jealousy to sleep by hate, and fear no enmity?" Now that the lovers have awoken, they find themselves free of the enchantments that have caused their turmoil, with Lysander's love for Hermia having been restored. Lysander admits that he and Hermia had intended to be gone from Athens so that they could marry outside of its jurisdiction. Aegeus is outraged and appeals to both Theseus and Demetrius. Demetrius, however, admits that even though he and Helena followed the pair in order to put a stop to it, "My love to Hermia, melted as the snow, seems to me now as the remembrance of an idle gaud, which in my childhood I did dote upon, and all the faith, the virtue of my heart, the object and the pleasure of mine eye, is only Helena." Having listened to Demetrius and taken on board his change of heart, Theseus decides to override Aegeus's wishes and declares that the lovers will be married alongside himself and Hippolyta. "Aegeus, I will overbear your will, for in the temple by and by with us these couples shall eternally be knit." This royal decree resolves the central conflict regarding Hermia's marital fate. The resolution of the enchantment signifies the restoration of natural order. The lovers, now properly paired, express their joy and relief, even though they don't quite understand how it has all come about, as Helena declares, "And I have found Demetrius like a jewel, mine own and not mine own." The four lovers exit to return to Athens in preparation for their weddings, leaving Bottom alone on the stage, still fast asleep. When he awakes, Puck has returned him to his normal human form, although note that when he yawns, his hey-ho still sounds a little like the hee-haw of a donkey. As he wonders why all his companions have left him, he marvels at the bizarre dream he has just had. "I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream, past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream." Note once again the dramatic irony here, as he refers to an ass, i.e. a fool, completely unaware that this is exactly what he had been transformed into. The transformation of Bottom back to his human form also signifies the return to normalcy and prepares for the comedic resolution of the craftsman's subplot. The action now returns to Athens for Act 4, Scene 2, where Bottom is reunited with his fellow craftsmen. They are all relieved to see him. "Bottom, O most courageous day, O most happy hour!" and eager to proceed with their play for the Duke's wedding, as Bottom urges them, "Get your apparel together, good strings to your beards, new ribbons to your pumps. Meet presently at the palace, every man look o'er his part, for the short and long is, our play is preferred." The transition from the magical, chaotic forest back to the structured city of Athens symbolises the restoration of social order and the resolution of personal and societal conflicts. Act 4 concludes with the anticipation of the wedding celebrations and the performance of the craftsman's play. The audience is prepared for the final act's resolution, where the joyous culmination of the characters' journeys will be celebrated. In conclusion, the falling action in Act 4 effectively resolves the main conflicts introduced in the play, i.e. the romantic entanglements and the discord in the fairy realm. By addressing the chaos caused by the magical interventions, the play moves towards its denouement, ensuring that harmony and order are restored, and setting the stage for the celebratory conclusion in Act 5. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on English language topics and exam techniques, and English literature texts.